Hello and welcome back to the shop, and today's project is actually going to be repairing my drawbar for my collet system on my lathe. One of the other previous videos, I believe it was when I was making the tap handles, the handwheel actually happened to crack off of this, and we'll get on the bench here and we'll show you what's going on. And so basically what we're going to do is we're going to chip out the broken pieces, and we're going to clean this up, and we're going to take some bronze rod, and we're going to braze that in, and then we'll remachine the bore, and we'll remachine the outside face, and get this to hold on. So let's set up on the bench here. We'll see what went wrong with this and some steps we can take to repair it. Okay, so here's the drawbar. So it's threaded on this side here for the collet, and then here's a little bearing block, and that sits against the outside taper of the spindle, and that's kind of what sandwiches everything together. Tighten the hand wheel and the sandwiches against this. This piece here will stay stationary. This will spin with the spindle, and this outside piece will stay stationary with the work. So that's how it holds together. And you can see the way they had this. They had it pinned with a straight pin here in here. Now obviously this didn't go straight through because there is a bore in here, and you can have your stock slide out the back of this hand wheel here. So this one must have gotten lost at some point, and I never noticed it. And looking at this actually, once we get this paint off, I think this has a crack right here underneath this. We'll see how bad that is. And obviously this side here cracked from here down to about here, and you can see a crack starting here. So my plan is to basically just pop this out, see how bad this is. Now I can't reconnect these pieces, so I don't think it'll be strong enough to do anything. So what we're probably going to do is just take this out and basically chip this out from here to here, and then we're going to grind all this back nice and flat, get rid of all this and get down to nice bare metal, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to actually penetrate these cracks and have a nice bond there. And if I get it down to nothing, we can build up from there and go. Now that's one bit of a flaw, is that basically your only your two main failure points, your pressure points, are on this pin and this pin. So once I get this all apart, I'm going to see how tight this bore is on this drawbar. I'm assuming it's just a sliding fit. We may be able to, since we have a lot of meat in here on this bore, we may be able to bore this out bigger, make a bushing, put it in, Loctite that bushing, and then Loctite this entire hand wheel onto this drawbar, because there's no real bearing in here, so there's no reason for us to actually have to get into this. So if we permanent Loctite this to this, at least this whole bore here will be holding the pressure when you turn it, and not just on these 2 points. And you can see how close those holes are to the edge. You only have this little web here, and that's taking all the pressure of you tightening this down, and the pressure of it sandwiching the collet system in place. So maybe we can improve on that a little bit. So I'm gonna just wire brush this this paint off here, see what we're looking at, and then I'll draw this pin out, and then we'll come back and see what we got. Okay, so we got it off, and we can see what we're dealing with. And here's pretty much the piece that I popped off. There's the start of the pin. Here's the pin right here. So it only goes into the cast here in the shaft to leave the center clear. And here are the pieces that came off. And you can see here there's also a previous repair. Not that great of a repair, but there's another one there, and that's barely held together. So what I'll probably do is I can probably cut, yeah, see that's coming right off. That doesn't even look like buildup. That looks like they tried to basically stick these two pieces back together back on here. So I'll get rid of all that old braze or silver solder or whatever exactly that is, and then I'll go in and clean all this up. Now you want to use either a file on this or a burr. You don't want to use something like a grinding wheel. The reason being is because that's friable, and all those little particles that are going to come off are going to embed themselves in this cast, which is going to make it extremely difficult, if not impossible, to get a really good joint of the braze with the cast. So we're just going to use this rod here, and we're going to kind of build this up as best we can up to here, and then we'll be able to rebore it. And it is pretty tight on here. I mean, it's loose now right there because we're missing a piece, but if I flip it around, that bore is actually pretty tight on there. So I might be able to just Loctite this sucker in place without doing the pins. That would be a little bit more helpful rather than having those two pins trying to line everything up with these holes and trying to make sure that they don't go all the way through to the bore. The only problem is I don't have an oxyacetylene setup, but I do have acetylene. I use at work, and I have turbo tips, and I have a big ass turbo tip, and that'll definitely get this hot enough for us to do what we need to do. Not the most ideal setup, but you know, it is what I got. And worst case scenario, if we do screw this up, it's not a huge thing. I can just get another hand wheel off of anything and just rebore it to match. So you know, if we screw this up, it's not the end of the world. This isn't a one-of-a-kind part. So we'll give it a shot and see how it comes out. If it doesn't come out a way that I like it, then I can just get another hand wheel. So off camera, I'm basically going to take this and some files and, you know, get this down to nice clean metal, and take some acetone and or some brake cleaner or something in here, and clean it off, and then make sure that that's all dry before we start brazing it. Okay, so I already preheated this a little bit, which you want to do with cast iron, otherwise you have a chance of making it brittle. And so we're going to try this and see if it works. Actually going to switch to a smaller tip. Alright, it's covered and built up. This side dripped a little bit, but you know, did what we could, working with what we got. Okay, so we have this held into the 4-jaw chuck, and I have it indicated by this outside diameter here, and the inside looks pretty true. My problem is because of the fill in on this side, I can't get the tip of my indicator in there in the bore to reach all the way over to the other side to where we have the original bore nice and clean where I can indicate off of. So what I want to do now is just basically round this out enough to be able to reach in and indicate the clean material that we didn't touch. So that way there I can get this back into this bore back into true. The outside is relatively true with the inside, but I definitely want to indicate the inside bore. So what we're going to do right now, since this isn't going to move from this setup, we're going to face this here, and then we're going to just bore this out just enough to be able to get the indicator in without rubbing up against this rough surface here, so that we can indicate that inside. So what I'm going to do right now is just face that off. Well, didn't mean to headbutt you. Alright, so we're hitting the cast all the way around right there. So you can see we have plenty of material to reduce on the outside and the inside. So let's get the boring bar in here and just kind of whittle this way a little bit, enough to be able to get the indicator to ride all the way in on this very back surface back here. Okay, so we're just going to knock some of this braze down. Okay, that's pretty good. That should give me plenty to be able to get my indicator in there. Alright, so it took a little bit of fiddling, but we look pretty good, and I kind of split the difference. We do have a drip that went right down into here, so I contend with that. But if you look right in there at the back when we turn this on, you can see that's running pretty true. So we're going to give this a shot and go at it. I'm just going to slow this down a little bit, this feed rate here. Sped up the lathe slightly, and I'm going to go. I'm not going to take very much at a time, because I am not in a rush. You can actually see we caught all of that. We caught all of the cast and took out everything. Let me see, got one little hollow right in there. You see how the rod fits. Actually got a pretty damn good fit on there. So I might end up doing actually is just leaving her like that. I didn't expect that to clean all the way up. That was a 20 thousandths cut. You can see where that hollow is in the back there. That's probably where it was rubbing from it being loose. Just wiggling back and forth a little bit. Alright, so we'll take down the outside now. There we go. Clean that all up. So that's in there pretty good. And now we just need to connect the two. Okay, so here it is. There's the repair. And there's the other side. Those are where the holes used to be. And that I just had to blend in a little drip that went down over here. Just blended that in. Just do a quick wire brush on it. I got to do it again. Those black spots there are flux. I just got to get the wire brush and just the wire wheel and go over it once more, and then this can be painted. But we're in there. We're in there flush. You can see. And we got a little bit of play to allow this to move, just like it did before. And this is Loctited in place. It's had a nice fit to it, not slip and not quite a press fit. Had enough room to be able to get some Loctite in there, some permanent Loctite, and we're going to see if that holds, if that kind of stands up. As I don't want to have to put these pins back in. Here's one of them. I would have to make another one and try to, you know, get it to not enter the bore. But I don't want to put these pins back in and end up with the exact same issue where we have stress cracks in this hand wheel. So we're going to try the Loctite. Worst case scenario, the only thing that will happen is this wheel will separate from this bar as we tighten the collet, and then we'll just have to re-drill and pin it again. But we're going to try not to do that. So we'll see how this stands up. My experience with the Loctite is it holds up pretty well. That's actually what's holding my my cross-slide feed screw together from when I did the large dial upgrade. I had to drill I had to make a new screw. I had to lengthen it, and in order to do that, I used the original screw and basically cut the handle extension off, drilled it and reamed it, and Loctited in a new stub that I had machined for the new the length of the new bushing. So all that pressure and everything that's on that cross-side screw there, that's held up since I've had the lathe, pretty much, or since I did that project, which has to be at least 2 to 3 years ago. So let's hook this up in the lathe right now, put a collet in it, and kind of crank down on it and see if we hold. Okay, so let's see if she works. Oh yeah, I'm cranking that down as tighter than I normally would, as tight as I can get it, and that's not backing off. I normally don't put nearly that pressure on there, but that's definitely not backing off. Let's see how straight it is. Okay, I got you in here a little bit, and what we're doing is just seeing how much it wobbles. There was always a little bit of run out in this on the outside here. It wasn't wiggling this way. It had a little bit of run out on the outside. This casting actually isn't perfectly round, which I found out when I was indicating it. But we'll see how it looks here. Let me actually get the pin in place here. So actually pretty good vertically. You can see that little bit of run out that I was talking about. It always had that. See how it looks from this side. Not too bad at all. That's actually a casting line that's not perfectly straight. You can see as it goes around, this actual casting line here isn't 100% straight or equal on all sides. So not too bad. It's definitely functional, and we'll see how the Loctite on there holds up. Make sure that we can get it off. and come off nice and pull right out. Same amount of play, so we have no stretch or anything in there. And that's it. So we're back in business with the Collets. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you on the next one.